Let's go.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to our Wednesday Twitter space. As always, my name is Leo. I'm going to be your host this week and every week before and after this point. so we'll get right into it. This week we don't have any influencer guests or any other spectacular guests. This week is going to just be me, myself, and I, and you guys. So it's a ShibaDoge community Twitter space, which is pretty cool because these ones are normally the funner ones, right? So I'll get right into a couple of talking points. Obviously, we woke up today and saw the markets reacting to whatever they're reacting to. I think it's because of the rate hikes that were announced, that those were paused. So I think that's the reason why some things dipped, but it is what it is. That is a talking point based off of, I guess, FUD, because there is a lot of FUD happening in the space right now. I think that's all blowing over, though. I think people are just starting to realize that it is just FUD and nothing else. Kind of like we talked about the whole Binance situation last week, and there is no way that they're shutting Binance down, right? I'll be the first to say, like, that's not going to happen. There's too much money. There's too many people. There's too many politicians. There's way too much going on there for anybody to come in and be like, yo, you guys got to shut down operations. That's not going to happen. What's going to happen is they're going to lay out a bunch of guidelines and they're going to be like, hey, you guys have to do this. You guys have to do that. You guys have to pay this. You guys have to pay that. And continue business as normal. So that's all it is. They just like to make a spectacle out of things. They like to put on a show for people. They like to create a lot of unnecessary drama, but that's the world we live in, right? A lot of it is fabricated to a point where people will spread information, whether it's true or false, just for clicks. They'll spread information just to get attention, and honestly, just to mess with people. So we just have to recognize that. Obviously, it's good to not have all of your eggs in a exchange. I always preach to have all of your assets, your crypto assets, your NFTs, your coins, whatever else you hold on chain, in a Web3 wallet that you own the keys to. I don't care if it's Binance or Coinbase or whatever exchange comes out in the future or already exists. I would never keep any of my money in an exchange for an extended period of time. Obviously, yeah, I like to keep funds in exchanges here and there if I'm going to use it for something, or if I'm going to transfer it to my bank account or vice versa, I'll do that. But my holdings always in a Web3 wallet, cold storage. That's what everybody should be doing. Obviously, we've been talking about this since the beginning of our project, and kind of want to just reiterate on it because it is very important. And I know a lot of people know this and they recognize how important it is, but yet they still hold their money or their assets on these exchanges. Take it seriously, guys. Unless you don't have a lot of money in there and you don't care if like they lock your funds out and you don't care. But still, even if I like look at the people who had like $40 worth of ShibaDoge on Hotbit, right? And Hotbit halted their operations, and the withdrawal fee to take out that $40 worth of ShibaDoge was like $60 or $70. You're not gonna. It doesn't make sense, right? You might as well say, well, I'd rather just buy $40 off chain and instead of pay $70 to transfer that $40 out. So the point is, it's like, okay, maybe you're not going to be stuck with your assets all in the exchange, but there's a possibility that could happen. So just the chance that it can happen is enough for me to not want to put anything in there, right? So that's one of the main things. The next thing I want to get into is more of a positive side of news. July is a pretty much big month for us. Obviously, I've been talking for the past 2-3 weeks now about a pretty big secret operation that we've been working on, right? And I think we're going to be ready to announce that pretty shortly. I think we have a timeline of July for a lot of things to come out, obviously with the ShibaDoge NFT support for Warzone, obviously the Armory, and obviously the secret surprise that we've been working on, right? So those three things, regardless of how the markets are doing, right? Regardless if they're 10x from the prices today or the same as how they're performing right now, doesn't matter. We're going to go through with our ideas at this point. Last week when we had Bleeves on, well, we were talking about how a lot of projects have to bite their tongues sometimes and hold off on their releases and hold off on some of the stuff that they've been building and working on, just so they can, release it in a better timing where the markets are performing better and whatnot. But we've been doing that for quite a while with all of our releases, not just these set of releases. We've been always trying to find the best timing, and I think right now is the best timing. And the reason why I say that is not because of the way the market conditions are, but the reason is because we don't want to be the people who kind of are afraid to pull the trigger when it comes down to the stuff that we've built, right? We want to be able to deliver the things that we've built in a way where we're not afraid of the market conditions, because the stuff that we're putting out into existence is meant to last for a very long time. And it doesn't matter whether it launches when ETH is at 5K or whether ETH is at $1,600-$1,700. It doesn't matter. What matters is that the product is good and the product is out there and the product is viable. And we do have plans for how we're going to kind of like monetize the attention towards these products in the future, right? Like how we're going to be bringing people in, what kind of campaigns are going to work, what kind of campaigns aren't going to work. So use process of elimination to kind of figure out, what are the best strategies to move forward. Now, with the secret surprise that we've been working on, this is something, like I said, we've been trying to put together for quite a long time. It was always something that we would, default over to and work on for a little bit of amount of a time, whenever we got a chance and kind of build on the idea. But I think we're at a pretty good point in the space where the uncertainty that people have is going to kind of really tie back into the idea of what we've been working on, right? So we don't think like the effectiveness of the markets doing good or doing bad are going to really play any factor in what we've been working on, because this isn't like any typical like product that we've had before, right? This is going to be something completely different, and it's going to be something completely unique. And I'm not going to say it's original to a point where we brainstormed the entire thing from scratch. No, it's not. This is something that we had inspiration from years ago, not through crypto. It wasn't the crypto-inspired endeavor. It was something else that really caught all of our attention years ago, and it was always something where we sat down and said, like, hey, if this can be brought into Web3, then it would be amazing, right? It will change the whole game. So we were always trying to figure out like how to make that happen. And we would talk about it. And I think right now with the way the markets are and how the attention towards crypto is shifting in the good way and then also in the bad way, and then back and forth. I think right now is the perfect time for it. I know you guys have zero clue what I'm talking about, and I apologize for that in advance. But it is something that we're passionate about, and you can tell. Like if I'm passionate about something, like I can't really ever stop talking about it. That's just the type of person I am. So yeah, it kind of like boils me down to not be able to say what it is just yet too. And the reason why we're not saying what it is isn't because we want to keep it a secret, but more or less we want to have it be announced in a spectacular, extravagant way. This is something that we're actually going to attempt to try to have partners on as well. And when I say we're going to try to have partners, I'm not talking about just like business partners or anything like that. I'm talking about like affiliate partners where we're going to try to get some of the biggest names in crypto to endorse it, be a part of it. So, you guys will get more of an idea of what I'm talking about in the coming weeks. But we are working on getting all that info out. More or less, super excited about the Armory because the Armory is going to change the way that people are interacting with their NFTs. I know a lot of people are happy with the way the NFTs are doing, and I know a lot of people are unhappy with the way they are doing. I'd be the first to say, guys, the NFT market is in a pretty shitty zone. It's in a pretty crummy situation, right, to say the least. Not to say things aren't going to pick up for the NFT market. It's in the void right now, and people are more interested in using their money in the token side of things and the crypto side of things, which is fine. The balance always needs to happen. Two worlds collide. One's going to be better than the other, and vice versa. Those times will shift, right? We'll have a time in the future where NFTs are outperforming the crypto side of the sector, and then obviously we'll have times where the crypto sector is dominating, right? And I mean that's just the way that it is. So I wouldn't be too afraid of the current state of the market, but I mean obviously no one's happy about the fact that NFTs are not performing as optimally as they were a year ago, right? So, but it's out of everyone's control, right? I mean, I said it last week, I'll say it again, or I said it the week before, I can't remember exactly, but I gauge the NFT market based on like the top 5 projects, and when I see the top 5 projects performing good and doing good, and people are buying them, and there's volume, and the prices are maintaining and even going up, then I sit there, I'm like, okay, cool. NFTs are good. They're growing. And then when I look at it and I see the opposite, and I see low volume in the top 5 projects, and I see like the floor price, people undercutting each other, trying to like just move things or get in and get out real quick, then I say, okay, I guess people are shifting over to crypto, or kind of just like trying to figure out what to do with their NFTs. So right now it's more bearish for NFTs than it is for crypto, but I mean it is what it is. We're the whole point of our NFTs was always to be able to integrate it with Warzone, and also to be able to give people an opportunity to hold something that is a part of the ShibaDoge ecosystem, right? What is currently outlined for our NFTs is not anywhere close to the vision that we want for them in the future, right? So, our plans will always keep developing. Our plans will always keep changing. New things will come that will catch our attention. New developments will come that we're able to implement into the project. So it's always something that we're going to be working on no matter what, right? So it's not like just because the whole NFT market is doing bad, we say, hey guys, well, sorry. I mean, sorry it didn't work. Like that's not us. That's not what we do. Just we got to weather out the storm, just like everybody else is weathering out their storms, right? So obviously, I mean, there's a lot of craziness happening in Web3, which is good. People look at it in a bad way. People like to speculate in negative ways. I like to speculate in positive ways, right? And I always speculate and manifest things in the positive way, but I also stay realistic at the same time, right? I'll never be the one to kind of like throw false hope out to anybody or anything like that, which is why I never give anybody any advice, even the closest people that I have to me. I don't give them financial advice or anything like that, because first of all, I'm not a financial advisor. Second of all, I feel really bad if I give somebody advice to get something and it ends up not going the way that I thought it would, and I don't want to be responsible for telling people to do something that I truly can't predict, right? So, but what I do know is that we're in a sector, we're in a environment that continuously has been growing year after year over the past decade at this point. And for anybody who thinks that it's done, you're oblivious, right? Like there's absolutely no way that we've reached anywhere close to our max capacity of potential that the crypto world holds for people, right? Like this is barely skimming the surface. Uh, the iceberg that sunk the Titanic, they were only able to see the tip of it, but there was a huge portion of 99% of it is underwater that you can't see, right? So that's exactly how I look at the crypto sector of things. Is like we're only looking at the top like 10% of things that people want you to know about, but there's the whole 90% of things that is keeping everything else afloat and hasn't even became relevant yet, hasn't even became mainstream yet, or it hasn't even been built or developed yet, right? So there's a lot of potential for that. And honestly, I've been seeing a lot of people on Twitter and social media, and even people like Gary Vee talking about the future of NFTs and how they see it kind of evolving into more or less like inventory type of system. And I could see that happening, right? I could see people using NFTs for various different reasons other than what people are using them for right now. So the future is definitely bright, especially if like companies all around the world start using blockchain to do inventory, blockchain to do sales, blockchain to do whatever, right? Millions of things that you can think of if you get creative. But realistically, we're not the only people that are affected by any of this. Everybody's affected by it, which is why you don't ever want to be that guy who's constantly looking at the chart 24/7. You don't want to be that guy who's glued to it. If you're a day trader, then it's a different story. If that's how you make a living, if you're a day trader, I used to be a day trader on stocks, and it was the most stressful thing I've ever experienced in my life. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I made money sometimes. Yeah, I lost money sometimes, but that's like the smallest part of it. The biggest part of it is like having to juggle and look at these charts 24/7 and just having your brain turn into mush. That's the stressful part. And I mean, I know there are a lot of people like that, especially in the space, that they look at the chart, they change it to the 1 minute chart so they could see every tiny move, and they'll sit there and stare at it for hours. And you're not accomplishing anything by doing that, unless you're a day trader and you're trading swings and trying to make I don't know what kind of goals people have nowadays in day trading, but whatever your goals are, you're trying to hit them. That's fine. If that's your strategy and if it's working for you, cool. Like do it. I wouldn't do it because it's just way too stressful. But it's to a point where I always talk about patience, patience, patience. And I was looking at a historical thing, and it's crazy how fast time flies, because we've been in the bear market for pretty much like a year now at this point, if not longer, right? Like it's got to have been over a year, because July of last year, I think ETH is when it hit the lowest point that it hit. Am I right, Roof? Is that when it hit the lowest point? Was it July of last year? Yeah.
Roundabout then, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. It feels like it was yesterday, but it's crazy how fast time flies, man.
Yeah. Definitely. Let's have a look.
Let's see.
Yeah. Lowest price on Ethereum.
Yeah, right here. Look, June 18, it was $993.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's been a year since that crazy crash, and we've been in a bear market for a year now at this point, if not longer. I mean, if you want to consider that the start of the bear market, I think the bear market started a few months before that, but still.
Yeah.
I think the bear market began like January, February, maybe March, around there. That's when things started going into the opposite. I think, Roof, you're echoing. Sorry, man.
Oh, sorry.
Yep, it's okay. But yeah, as I was saying, over a year in the bear market, and it literally just feels like it happened a month ago, man. That's how crazy it is. That's how fast time flies, and it's just a matter of us not giving up on the things that we believe in, right, as a community and as developers as well. So if we gave up and we stopped trying, then everything that we've worked for so long, it goes to waste. It's for nothing, and that's just like a complete hard no for anybody on our team, right? It's like that's not happening. We're gonna keep riding out the bear market. We're gonna keep riding out all of the FUD, because there's always better days around the other side. You know, the grass is always greener on the other side. There's that saying, and it's just the most persistent will survive. Which is why the large reason being is like, you know, we had the whole Pepe wave, and we had the whole wave where a lot of tokens were pumping, and that brought a little bit of life back into the sector, right? But more or less, I'll call it for what it was. It was just a little pump and dump, right? And I'm not saying Pepe is a pump and dump, but I'm just saying that whole pump that happened in the sector and got everybody riled up for a month. It was at the very end, it was just fabricated. Obviously, you know, I wish all those projects succeed. I don't want to see anybody fail. So I'll be their number one support. I'll be everyone's number one supporter, you know, say the very least. But it's not, what I learned was it's not going to take one project to change the direction of how things have been going. It's going to take a collective of every project to like kind of come together and keep staying true to what they believe in and keep building, and things will eventually get better, right? I mean, we had Bleaves on last week, and he was talking about how those dudes at Cult DAO were using their project to pump some of the stuff that they've lost money in the past, and you know, cool, good for you. But is that the ethical way to do things? And is that the ethical way to build a project that's going to be successful and kind of guide your community in a way that they're going to find success? No, hell no. That's not the right way of doing it. Do they think it's the right way? Maybe. Is it something that we could debate? Sure. I mean, I guess. But, you know, in my opinion, there's right ways and wrong ways of approaching every situation, especially when you have a massive community of people that believe in the vision that your project entails. You know, you have some sense of responsibility to kind of make sure that vision lives on, and make sure that you guys stay true to your mission statement, right? And which is something that we work very hard to not lose focus of, is our mission statement. And if you're ever going to change your mission statement, and if you're ever going to keep evolving your project and your morals and your values and everything that you believe in, you better be evolving them for the good and for the better, and not for the worse, right? So I'm not saying that we won't ever change what we believe in, but if we do ever change what we believe in, it will be for the better and not for the worse, right? So like, that's what people need to understand, is there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, right, in the crypto space. And we've seen a lot of projects come. We've seen a lot of projects go. I mean, we're going towards another full complete year of ShibaDoge, right? And we're still pushing strong. We're still doing what we need to do. Obviously, we're not at all-time highs. Obviously, we're not at the most bullish points of our existence that we've ever been. But that doesn't demotivate me one bit. For anybody who thinks that it does, you're wrong. It doesn't. I'm still here week after week, and I still am extremely passionate, and as passionate as I was since day one, right? So nothing has changed for me, because I know for a fact what we're trying to achieve is something that we are going to achieve, right? So I have that peace of mind knowing, like, hey, you know, we're here for a reason, and that reason, no matter how rocky the road is and no matter how hard it gets, we're going to do everything it takes to get there. I always say it, but if it were easy, everybody would be doing it. And we saw with this recent pump that had happened, right, where there was like, you know, every project would launch and they would do good for the first couple of days, and then boom, back to square one. Goes to show you, dude, like when you're doing good, everybody thinks not everybody. Let me rephrase that. When things are going up, everybody thinks that there will never be a point at where that up will pause and stop, and then you get tunnel vision to a point where you lose sense of reality. And I saw a lot of people follow that trend when that happened. I almost even lost sense of reality looking at it happen, right? Because I'm looking at it and I'm all like, hey, like when are they going to, like, you didn't see $1 billion of volume in one certain project in one day ever in the last year. What the heck is going on right now? Like, you're surprised. I'm surprised. Like, it was something I'd never seen before, so I didn't know what to expect out of it. But no matter how big, no matter how small, at the end of the day, reality always hits, and it just means things can't go up forever, right? There's always what goes up must come down, what comes down must go up. That cycle is going to always be there, no matter what project you have, no matter how many people support your project, no matter how many people are putting millions and millions of dollars into your project. Doesn't matter. What goes up must come down. What goes down must come up. That's just that's just how it works, right? I mean, unless somebody can prove anything else, please feel free to let me know. But it doesn't change the fact that the crypto market is experiencing something that can't be, like I said, can't be fixed by one singular person, one singular project. And it's something that more or less it's going to be time that fixes it. And regulation, whether that comes or whether it doesn't come, is, in my opinion, and a lot of people probably won't agree with me, is probably going to be more helpful than detrimental to the crypto markets. But we'll see. I mean, that's not even the topic I like to talk about, and that's not even the topic that I care about. I care like 1% about that, even if it's 1%. I don't even know if it's 1%, but I don't care about that. There's very few things that I care about. There's very few things that I care about. The main thing that I care about is to not lose focus on what we're trying to achieve, because we're trying to build an empire ourselves, and we're trying to achieve greatness ourselves. And if I get caught up in everything else that's going on with everybody else, I will not have time to focus on the things that we need to be focused on. So no matter how involved I am in any given day in what's going on in the current news or what's going on in everyone else's business, right? One day I might be involved and want to find out everything, and one day I just probably will be blocking myself out from the outside noise and be focused on what we're building. I always default to everything else not mattering, right? So if I can hear a million things and I should be concerned about them, for example, like let's say it's political, or let's say it's something that's happening in a certain country or my country or whatever, I'll just block all that noise out, because I know what my purpose is, and I know what my skills are used for, and I know where I can help people, and I know where I can make an impact. And that's honestly at the end of the day, it's here, right? It's to this community or in this sector, in this space, to honestly not just this community, but more people in the coming future, because we want to be here for years, right? We don't want to just be here for the time being. Like, I don't want our legacy to just last for now, right? Our legacy is going to last for a very, very long time. And the amount of people, there's, in this past 2 years, close to 2 years, a lot of people have met me, a lot of people know me, a lot of people, I've met a lot of people, and most projects know of ShibaDoge, or they know of me, or they know of everybody else that we've worked with. But more people are going to know in the future. And because the reason about that is because we're going to set a very high standard, and we're going to continue bringing out some very important tech and very important growth hacks, I want to say. Let's call them growth hacks, to the space of crypto, right? Like, that's something that we're passionate about. That's something that we think is going to be important in shaping the future for this space. And we don't want to just be, a group of guys who started a meme coin. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, you call it that, and I won't be mad. But we obviously want to bring more value to the space than just ShibaDoge. We want ShibaDoge Labs, which is what we call like our entire ecosystem. We want ShibaDoge Labs to have a lot behind it, right? Just like how, for example, Facebook owns Instagram, and they own hundreds of other companies that you probably haven't heard of, and they're not just hyper focused on one product. They're building an empire, and I think that's what we want to do, right? I mean, I'm just saying Facebook, but there are a lot of companies out there that keep expanding and buying other companies out or starting new branches to their tree. And that's what it is. Like look at ShibaDoge, like the tree, and every branch that stems out of it is benefiting, right? Benefiting the tree, because every leaf that grows on that branch gives it more exposure to the sun, and your tree is eating more. I don't know how trees work, but I have a pretty general idea, right? but yeah, regardless, I mean, you guys get the point. You guys get what I mean. And I mean, I appreciate everyone for being patient with, the way that things have been going with just the whole market. Like, I know, like, it could be very stressful for a lot of people, being stuck in a bear market for over a year, right? I mean, maybe I may not show it as much, but yeah, there are times where I get stressed out about the fact that it's still a bear market too. But I'm getting more stressed out, because like I'm worrying about a lot of other people, right? It's not just me that I'm like thinking and being worried about. I'm worried about, like, hey, like, we have an amazing community of people. Like, why can't it be a bull market so these people can like already reap the benefits of things? So, that's what bothers me. And I mean, obviously I can't control any of that, but it's just because I care. So we're just going to keep doing what we're doing and keep building, and that bull market will come, like it will come no matter what. It's programmed to come. It's just a matter of when at this point. Obviously, I didn't think it would be over a year of a bear market, right? But I'm looking at the charts right now. ETH was $990 June 17. Pretty much 3 days from now would be exactly 1 year. So, I mean, we're at what, 1650 right now? Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's honestly crazy, dude. Yeah. What blows my mind the most is how fast the year passed. Like, can't believe it.
Yeah, man. I mean, when it comes, I just got a feeling, man. When it comes, it's gonna come hard, man. Like fast and hard.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's gonna be. That's what it is, right? It's like when it doesn't rain for a very, very long time, and then that one time when it rains, it's just the hardest rain you've ever seen, right? Yeah. That's kind of what I feel like it's gonna be. It's gonna be like that.
I've kind of experienced it a little bit myself, when I came into crypto a couple of years ago. I experienced it. I've seen how fast Bitcoin just shot up, man. From like 35K, it went straight to 70K. And I was like, what? Like overnight, it just shot up. And then it went the opposite way. Then overnight, it dropped as well that fast. But I was like, how can it move so much, like so fast, Like, yeah. How does that happen? Like,
it happens because people that they want it, right? There is a demand for it at a certain point, and especially with like the way that the world economies are doing right now, I can see crypto replacing a lot of people's currencies, man. I could see crypto. Yeah, I could see crypto ruling the world. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not trying to sound over optimistic, because I'm not. That's truly what I think can possibly happen. And when that happens, I mean, shit. Like, yeah, I mean, that call it the bull market, call it whatever you want to call it, but I think that's going to be massive for crypto, right? Even if one country comes up and says, like, even if it's the smallest country in the world, even if it's a country you've never heard of, it comes up and says, hey, by the way, Bitcoin or Ethereum is now our official currency, and that's all we're going to use. You know, just that alone, even if it's the smallest country that has a GDP of $1 million, for example, even if they come out and say that, that's still massive for crypto, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, man, definitely. I mean, I know people that honestly I'd never expect them to know anything about crypto. Like, but everyone seems to just know Bitcoin. Like my older brother, he's not that. He don't understand technology and all that very much, you know.
yeah.
But a few weeks ago, he was like talking to one of my cousins, and he's like, you know that Bitcoin stuff. What do you think, man? Should I buy some of that stuff? Like, and I was
Yeah.
surprised. Like my older brother, who's not ever into any kind of digital currency, he doesn't even bother with all any of that. He just comes out the blue. So if that's happening now, you know, I just feel that's it's gonna be the future, man, because everyone's just paying more attention to it. It's just getting more popular, you know.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't.
it is,
Yeah,
man. But it's not to a point where it was like 2 years ago where nobody knew about it, right? Now people have heard about it more than they have in the past. Um, and the mainstream media is doing a good job of trying to like make it seem like it's a scary place to navigate. And that's what they're
yeah,
focused on imprinting in people's heads. So when you talk to somebody who's like who doesn't know anything about crypto and you try to get a little bit of their take on it, they immediately default to what they heard on the news, and they're like, oh, but you know, X, Y, and Z, it's scary, it's this, it's that, it's money laundering, people use it to buy drugs on the deep web. It's like, bro, what year are you living in, you know?
yeah.
So
Well, also the younger generation, the younger generation, they're passing it on to their parents as well. They're coming back from school and they're like, Dad, you should buy some Bitcoin, you should buy some Ethereum, you should buy some Shibainu, you know. Like my nephews, they tell their parents
Roof,
about crypto all the time. Like,
you're breaking up. You're breaking up.
oh,
Your mic sounds robotic.
do I sound okay now?
No, it's still the same.
No? Okay, okay. Testing, testing,
Mm. Talk again.
testing, testing.
It's a little bit better. There's still like a little static.
Okay, maybe now.
No, it's the same.
Nope. Okay, I'll just restart it.
Okay.
Roof. That's an indication that you're overworked, man. You're working 24/7. Even the mic is not supporting you at this point.
He blew the mic out with the amount of juice that's gotten.
Hey, but let me take the opportunity here to compliment while Roof is rugging. You guys, the devs, I'll keep you guys for a second outside of this next two lines. But Roof, best in the entire crypto. I tell you, man, I don't know how you do it. It is something phenomenal. I'm just floored, flattered. I have no words to convey. You do an exceptional job. You are like a FUD killer. You are like a big brother to entire ShibaDoge. Really,
100%,
something
man.
phenomenal, man. I don't know how we got you. I don't know how Debs got you. I don't know. We're so blessed. We just, it's almost like, on one side, we have the devs who are the best. And the other side, we have you, who is always there. And the way you react to things and the way you conduct yourself, hats off.
No, 100%, man. I mean, I saw Roof develop from from who he was when we first met him to who he is now, and it's a miraculous development. Like Roof's the best, dude. Like I don't think there's. If every project had a roof, it would be amazing for crypto, right? But unfortunately, that's not the case for everybody. But fortunately for us, it is the case. Roof does a good job. Yeah, we hear you, bro.
Is it better now?
No, it's still the same. You sound like shit.
I don't know what's happening right now. But I'll just I'll just use the emojis. Okay.
You may want to just leave and come back, Roof. That would probably
try restarting the whole thing.
If I leave, then the live stream is gonna also mess up.
No, okay.
YouTube is gonna mess up. Well, I'll keep messing around. But you guys.
Gotcha.
Hey, while I said all that for Roof, let me take an opportunity. Give me a minute, Leo, talk about you as well. Just 2 minutes. I came, just so you know, folks, I'm TD. I came into this project ShibaDoge. I was actually skiing that night on 26th. And if I remember, one of my friends called me and said, hey, this dev came and he launched at 20,000 and he'll be doing a live AMA on 26th or 27th. I think it was 26th. And you had just come. You were popping in and out, I think, from the room, Leo, but you actually came and spoke at a certain time that evening. I think I was there at that time. I don't recollect now. It's 26th or 27th. And the way you came in and the way you talked, and it was like so humble, and you just came in and you said, hey, we don't know what we are doing, where we are going, but we have a clear vision, we have a clear path. I need to do so many things. You ask me all the tough questions at this point. I may be able to answer, not answer. You know what? I'm here to stay. And that last line, that I'm here to stay, stuck with me, and invariably, even today, many times, after almost 1.5 years, you say that, and that gives so much elation to almost every holder, investor in ShibaDoge. Very few people can say that statement with so much of, there's authenticity to it. And, I am floored right there. I have been continuously coming, and many times I've been missing as well over the last 6 months. But I am so, impressed by your presence in the space, crypto space, and your direct, connect with all of the holders in ShibaDoge. It's amazing. Who does it? Nobody. Some people may do it, but the amount of mileage we got from all of that, from your, different AMAs and everything, it's just amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm very thankful, and again, let me say my statement. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to invest in ShibaDoge. It's something phenomenal.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, no, it's easy for people to come up and say like, "Hey, I'm here to stay," or it's easy to come up and just say stuff. There's a lot of people that go up and say things like that, but it's different when things get hard and you're still there, right? And that's the thing that separates winners from losers, and that's what separates good people from bad people, in my opinion. And I always like to think of myself as someone who never gives up, no matter how hard it gets. I've always been that way. Sometimes, it may not be my best attribute, but I also, at the same time, think it is my best attribute, right? So it doesn't matter how hard it gets. There are times, when I'll wake up and have to come talk to everybody in the community, and I'll look at the way the markets are doing, and I'll be like, it'll bother me. I'll be like, shoot, like I really honestly wish the markets were doing good, not for myself, but for everybody else. And You know, I like to put people first, and I care about everybody who's involved in our project, right? Not just the people I have a personal connection with, not just the people I talk to or who talk on the AMA days and, you know, joke around with me or whatever. It's not just those people I care about. I care about the person who I've never spoken to a day of my life either, because no matter what, I know that they're a holder because they believe in what we've built, and they believe in our vision, and not just my vision, but this is everyone's vision, right? Because this is a collab that we're making with the community, right? Like, you know, it's everyone's collaborative project. Like if you're a part of the ShibaDoge community, you own a part of the ShibaDoge community, and that's or you own a part of the ShibaDoge project, and that means something to me, because I want everyone to be able to own something that they could be proud of, right? And it's hard in this world to create something that people can be proud of. It's very easy to create something that people can talk bad about, though. And I don't want anything that we create to be a part of that conversation. I want us to be a part of a different conversation, a conversation of, hey, you know, like, this is how it's supposed to be done. And thankfully, knock on wood, we are a part of those conversations, regardless of where we're at right now. And, you know, we're not at all-time highs or whatever. But when other people talk about our project and other people talk about our community, it's always in a positive way. It's always in a way where, you know, I never have to hold my head down and say, shoot, I can't believe, you know, this guy said that about us or our community. We never do anything to hold burden or to hold shame or anything like that. So, you know, I want everyone to embody that. Like, you guys are a part of people who actually have values and principles, and you know, we all strive to do better, and we will do better. Like, we will do better. This is very necessary. It's character building exercises. It's you know, your willpower is tested during times like this, when things get rough and the markets are bad, and you know, everything else that's going on in the world. You know, the people that are able to stay strong and be able to ride out these storms, whether you cope with it or you work through it every day, or whether you just take the rest of the year off as a community member and come back next year. It doesn't matter how people cope with it. The important thing is that they still believe and trust in the process, you know, and the process will pay off. You know, if you just keep chugging away and you keep moving forward, you're eventually going to reach your destination, no matter how long it is. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step, and it doesn't finish with the second. You know, it takes time to get to where you need to be, and I think we're getting there. Sometimes we're running, sometimes we're sprinting, sometimes we're walking, and sometimes we're dragging our ass on the concrete. But the important thing is we're moving forward, and that's all we care about. If anybody else has anything that they want, or any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask. If not, we could probably call it an early day today. But if anybody has anything they want to say, feel free to come up. You don't even have to raise your hand. You can just unmute yourself.
Hello.
De nada.
Testing. Hello, Leo. Can you hear me now, Leo?
Okay, Roof. I guess we'll end it over here, brother.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I'm gonna test something tomorrow, guys. I'm gonna make another Twitter Space post, but it's just gonna be a test. I'm not gonna actually do a Twitter Space. I just want to see if it's gonna delete it again and take off all the reminders or whatever. I'll label it as this is a test, not official Twitter Space or something like that. And I just want to see if Twitter is going to delete it again, or because something weird's been happening, and it's been getting deleted and it's been getting reposted all on its own, and it's canceling a lot of people's reminders, and it's kind of really annoying. But I want to figure out what causes that to happen, and if it happens at a certain time, maybe I got to post it after that certain time. I don't know. But anyways, we'll go ahead and wrap it up over here. I'll be in the chat on Telegram all week long. So if you guys need me, feel free to tag me. We'll also be back in Telegram on VC on Tuesday. We'll also be back here on Twitter Space on Wednesday. We may have a couple more meetings that pop up. I've been talking to some other influencers and groups on Telegram and on Twitter that we may be going on their shows. So if that happens, you guys will know about that. We'll let you guys know on Telegram or on Twitter. But that's always something to look forward to. And as always, guys, I love you guys. If you guys miss Doge, that sucks. If you miss Shiba, that also sucks. If you miss ShibaDoge, then I'll still love you, but you suck. All right, guys. Thanks for coming in. Like I said, if you need me, feel free to send me a DM on Telegram. Love you guys. Peace.
Love, peace.